For a while, I've been wondering, why exactly do we experience nostalgia? A lot of people think that it's because it's just us looking back on good times and fond memories, but at least for me, I know that's not just the case. As a kid, I hated the fact that both my grandparents and my uncles smoked cigarettes. And while I still am not fond of the smell of tobacco, it brings me back. Even to moments where I was upset with them over them smoking or over different reasons, and they were also upset and smoking to cope with it, I still am brought back to those times in a nostalgic way. And if it really was happiness that brought nostalgia back, we wouldn't always feel such a bittersweet feeling when experiencing nostalgia. Other people will tell you that it's just us looking back on less stressful times, which, with all intents and purposes, could 100% be a part of it, but you can always just not stress. If you have good enough control over yourself, yes, as you get older, you have more responsibilities and more things that are expected of you that do stress you out, but you can always just choose to not give a damn. Sure, you can't load up Cartoon Network for the first time again and watch your first episode of Adventure Time or Regular Show or Steven Universe. You can't play Minecraft for the first time, and you'll never get that childhood world back. But is it those specific things that really made the memory nostalgic? For me, I'd say nostalgia exists because as humans, we really just are fond of our memories that we can replay the most and are most memorable to us. You're not going to get nostalgia walking by the same trash can model that used to be in your apartment building, because you don't even remember what trash can it was. It's something special, something that is only replicated and had to have happened several times for your brain to recognize it. At least that's what I think. I'm not, it is a philosophical debate, I guess, and, I'm no professional and I don't have a college degree, but that's what I would say it is. It's something special to your mind because you chose to do it over and over again. And yes, that could be from enjoyment, but with the example I gave earlier with my grandparents smoking, I never chose to be around them smoking, but I had to be. And my brain strictly remembers it and resonates it with my grandparents because they were the people that did it the most, that I was the most around. You may go to a certain drive-thru, and that reminds you of hanging out with your older sibling. Hey, my older brother used to take me to McDonald's. I'd get this specific Happy Meal, and we'd be happy, right? But nostalgia can also be a scared feeling. The feeling of going to the dentist office as a kid and seeing those not fancy, but funky is a better word, those funky rainbow fish mats and the town mat where you would drive around the cars on the roads. Seeing the giant toothbrush in the dentist office. And while you were scared, that was something that made it memorable because it stuck out to you and you went through it several times, I presume. I hope you went to the dentist's office more than once as a kid. I lost my train of thought. I was going hard there for a second. On the thumbnail of today's video, I got really lucky. For some reason, my marker just finally decided to get out that last ink, and then you can see in the Cartoon Network that it was officially drying out. But I got lucky and was able to make one last thumbnail with it. So we actually do have a thumbnail for today's video, and hopefully, my mom said that she would get me more black markers. So hopefully, by the next time I record, we're back to the whiteboard thumbnails. This video is going to be a little shorter, I guess, because I've already kind of said what I had to say. I don't know. Was the Minecraft music playing? I don't remember if I paused it or not, and it's not playing anymore. So maybe it finished the song and then ended. Or it didn't, and you guys think I'm crazy. I was listening to Minecraft music while drawing the thumbnail. For me, Minecraft's something that is insanely nostalgic to me. And one, it's because I was a COVID kid, which means the time that I was 9 to 11 years old, I was in quarantine, could not leave my house, and my only social interaction was playing with my friends on Minecraft. And for me, that's something that I look back fondly upon, and it's not even the game that I look fondly upon. Do I love Minecraft and still play it pretty much daily? Yes, I'm in the middle of building a ginormous castle in a riverside town on the backside of a mountain. I still play the game, but I don't feel the same way playing it now that I do now. That's not to say that now I don't enjoy it as much as I did back then. I just enjoy it for a different reason. Now it's a way for me to unwind and have that bittersweet, nostalgic feeling while I play. It does connect me to simpler times where I was a child and all I had to do to make friends was give someone a diamond pickaxe in a virtual game. But the reason I play now, and something I presume I will be nostalgic over in the future, I get to watch videos on my phone as a sideway. Or not as a sideway, a side thing on the side. I'm not going to sit down and watch video essays just straight up. But while I'm building, it's a very nice backdrop. It's very fun to listen to and have philosophical thoughts and all the different things, right? Especially, like, a lot of the times I'll sit down and I'll learn history, or I'll learn things that are just, like, niche and obscure. And in the future, I'm aware that I'm enjoying this enough right now that I'll look back on it nostalgically. I'm also going to look back nostalgically on the nervousness that I had going to boxing the first few times. The nervousness that I had to hype myself up for. I still take 2 hours mentally to prepare for each class because I'm a little nervous every time. I'm still a beginner. I'm not insanely good. I'm scratching a bug bite that I told myself I would stop scratching. I'm going to put my knee down. I look back. This is a great example, and it's also going to lead into today's item. I don't think I did an item last video. My apologies. No, I did. I showed off my deodorant, I think. Not deodorant, cologne. But it didn't really count. Whatever. This leads into today's item as well. I look fondly back upon Scottish and Irish and Nordic culture because as a kid, I heard my grandfather talking a lot about these things. And I got to go to a Scottish festival where I did axe throwing. And first of all, I was a goat at axe throwing at like 9 years old. If you're in the Georgia area, you probably know, I think it's either like Rocky Mountain or Stone Mountain, something. I went to the Scottish festival up there when I was a kid, and I kicked ass at axe throwing. I'm still really good at it, actually, whenever I get the chance, but it reminds me of, it gives me that nostalgic feeling of accomplishment. And accomplishment is something positive, but it's not exactly happiness or the peace that comes from listening to a Minecraft soundtrack, right? Like, we pull nostalgia from different things, and that's why I believe it's not just because it was during a simpler time. Right now, all my problems are very, very large, but in 5 years' time, when my problems are larger, I'm still going to be nostalgic. When I'm 70 years old, sitting in a hospital bed, I'm going to be nostalgic over my 40, what I did in my 40s, in my 50s, even in my 60s, I'll be nostalgic over it, because I won't be able to replicate it. And I think that's what makes nostalgia so special, is that you can't replicate it no matter how hard you try. You will never do that for the first time again. And leading into today's item, I'm going to show you my shoes. Give me a sec. These are my shoes. There's Converse, but right here, that is Norse. It's the word for hope. And then over here, that is the word for protection. And, you know, for the first time today, my parents recognized it when I was in church, and they asked me what it was. And I didn't really go into why I had them. I just told them. But for me, they're reminders of what a real man should stand for, right? Like, a real man should be protection and hope for his family and friends. And, you know, I'm not going to go into that because that's not the purpose of today's video. The purpose of today's video is nostalgia. But the reason I chose Norse is because it makes me nostalgic for different kinds of medias that I've consumed over the years, right? Consumed a lot of Viking media. It makes me think of How to Train Your Dragon as a kid and Vinland Saga a few years ago, which I'm still a huge fan of Vinland Saga, as the Thorfinn profile picture would suggest. And then also I have this rune right there, which is I think it's also a Nordic rune, which means originally meant protection, but it's kind of been changed to preservation in modern day. And then here that is 141, which stands for the preservation of nature over like capitalist shit, which I'm not an idiot. I don't believe in socialism or communism. That only is possible in a perfect world where people are actually willing to share, which, newsflash, they're not. But I do believe we should be taking preservation over making money. There was dog pee in my room that I somehow did not smell. I think it's like hours old from when I was at church because it's like dried out and really gross. So I got to go clean that now. But hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if it's your first time. We always do this really corny outro inspired by The Truman Show that I almost got rid of, and then my friend told me that she liked it, so I kept it. But good morning, good noon, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.